Hey, what's going on out there, YouTube? It's your boy, Mr. Nelson89, coming at you guys with a new video. And this will be the first video in something I'm doing new called Special Delivery, where, you know, once I get like a certain amount of CDs, you know, in the mail or whatever, I'll do a video and show you guys what I've gotten either that week or that month. So this will be the first episode. The first few CDs I got right here, I actually got them during the holidays, but of course I wasn't really making videos at that time. I was on a bit of a hiatus, and of course, the holidays came and went so fast, so I didn't really get time to do it. And as you also can see, I'm back doing it the old school way with my laptop, because I'm having trouble with my GoPro. For some reason it won't read my SD card, so I'm gonna have to look on the internet and see what's up with that. But hey, where there's a will, there's a way. So let's get this thing started. So first CD I got, this is Cannibal Corpse, Eating Back to Life, released in 1990. This is their first album, which came out on Metal Blade Records. Of course, Cannibal Corpse, a death metal band from Buffalo, New York. So got started, I guess around the mid 80s or so. But they started out as more of a thrash metal band, I believe. I really don't know what inspired them to go more death metal, but from what I know, Cannibal Corpse was they're one of the pioneers of death metal. I'm not a huge fan of death metal that much, but I thought, as far as getting into the genre, I thought Cannibal Corpse would be a good start, them as well as Death. So I purchased Eating Back to Life, and I really like this record. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I know that most of the lyrical things are about mutilation and things of that nature, man. But for the most part, you can't even really understand what Chris Barnes is really saying, because his vocals is so guttural. One thing I noticed about this record, though, is that it's not so much death metal as far as the sound. The sound is more of a thrash metal influence with guttural vocals. And I was reading somewhere, and it said that it was their next album, that where they really started to go more death metal, really death metal. But this record has more of a thrash metal sound to it. But I really dig the guttural vocals and everything. And I think it's one thing I like about these early death metal bands was that they all seemed to add something different to the sound as opposed to what you hear now. I just think a lot of the death metal bands now, the newer bands, they're just so repetitive and it's just boring. It's just boring. I mean, they just overdo the blast beats way too much. But the pioneers, man, I think the pioneers are really awesome, man. As far as Cannibal Corpse and Death and other bands, man, they really doing their thing. But Eating Back to Life, man, I listened to it, dug it, thought it was really good. So if there's anybody else out there that's not really a huge fan of death metal like me and wants to get into it more, maybe start with Cannibal Corpse, Death, one of those early bands, because from what I'm hearing, those early death metal bands really bring something different to the table. But yeah, this is Cannibal Corpse, Eating Back to Life, released in 1990 originally. This is a 2002 reissue, comes with a bonus track, which is a live version of Born in a Casket. So yeah, Cannibal Corpse, Eating Back to Life. Let's see what else I got. Right here I got Ministry, The Mind is a Terrible Thing to Taste, released in 1989. Ministry, they're a industrial metal band or industrial band. They started out as a synth pop or new wave type band in the early 80s, but with each album they veered away from that and started embracing the industrial sound. By the time they did this record, though, this is when they really started to embrace the industrial metal sound. Although their previous record, The Land of Rape and Honey, that was the first record that really showed them veering into the industrial metal genre. I think it was only maybe a couple of tracks on that record that actually featured guitars, but this record features guitars, heavy guitars throughout. Their sound is I guess I've heard some people label them as industrial thrash because their sound has that thrash metal influence, but it's industrial. But The Mind is a Terrible Thing to Taste, man. I think it's a really good album. I enjoyed it. Been on a bit of an industrial metal kick here lately, so I thought I would check out some of the early pioneers of it. I know there's other bands as well too, but Ministry was one that I wanted to check out first because I'm familiar with the first track on here called Thieves. I think I've heard it on a few. I might have heard it in a movie or something. I don't know, or I just might have heard it from a friend that I was hanging out with. But yeah, I think this record is really good. You know what I'm saying? A great early example of what industrial metal was in its beginnings. Cool CD. I think the CD looks really cool. But yeah, Ministry, The Mind is a Terrible Thing to Taste, man. Definitely good music. I've enjoyed it, and hey, definitely go check this out. Great album, great music. Next, and I don't think this next band I'm about to show you really needs much of an introduction. I think most of you guys are familiar with them, but this is White Zombie. They're the third or fourth album. I think it's the third full-length album. The Sexorcisto. I can't even pronounce that first part, man. But Devil Music Volume 1. I just leave it at that. Sorry if I butchered that title. But yeah, White Zombie, man. This was the record that really broke them into like the mainstream. Welcome to Planet, motherfucker. What else? What's the other song? Thunder Kiss 65. That was really a big hit for them as well. I think that was really the biggest hit from this album that really took them over, man. But White Zombie, Rob Zombie, come on, man. I know most of you guys out there know who this band is. This is a great album. Best way to describe this to me, man, this is like psychedelic metal. I don't even know if psychedelic metal was really a genre, man, but I mean, you can, from the cover art and the back cover art, man, I mean, even the videos, I mean, it just had that like 1960s psychedelic vibe to it, man. It's real heavy, real groovy too. Album's real groovy. Cool liner notes, cool pictures, pics of the band and stuff. Right here, of course, you got the lyrics right here, the lyric sheet. But that's the best way to describe this, man. It's like psychedelic metal, man. It's real groovy, man. It's got a real nice groove to it. I like Rob Zombie's vocals on this record as well. I think his vocals are really cool. Although I read some reviews where there was some like critics that, dang, I can't get this thing right. Here we go. There were some critics that didn't like his vocals, but I dug it. I thought he had some nice vocals on this record. But great album, great early groove metal, if that's what you want to call it. To me, I describe it as psychedelic metal. That's the best way I describe it, man. But definitely an awesome album. You know what I'm saying? Of course, they did one more album after this, and they broke up. But I also seen an interview somewhere where Rob Zombie said that even when they did this record, the band really weren't getting along that much. But they churned out a great album, great classic album, man. So White Zombie, Devil Music Volume 1, pick it up. Still widely available. I got this for a pretty reasonable price. I bought this off of Amazon for like $3.99, I think. Yeah, Rob Zombie's material is very reasonably priced. At least his older stuff. Next, Rob Zombie, Hellbilly Deluxe, debut solo album from Rob Zombie, released in 1998. The sound on this record is different from White Zombie, although the last White Zombie album, Astro Creep, did include industrial metal sounds, but Rob he pretty much full on embraces that industrial metal sound on this record. You know what I'm saying? He did a great job. The band did a great job at melding electronic music in with metal. It's heavy, electronic. Definitely can dance to it. Of course, the biggest hits from this album is Dragula and Living Dead Girl. Super Beast, I think, was also a single from this record, but it wasn't as successful as the other two. But Dragula is the biggest hit from this record. Living Dead Girl, I used to hang out with a girl that was her nickname, Living Dead Girl, And when I saw this album and I looked at it, I said, Living Dead Girl. I said, that's where she got that from. But yeah, Living Dead Girl is an awesome song. Definitely a great album. You know what I'm saying? Cool CD, cool artwork inside. Guess I can show you guys some of the liner notes. The liner notes is like a comic book. You know, like right here. Of course, you got a close-up picture of Rob Zombie. Let's see. That's his wife right there, Sherry Moon. That's her right there. John Tempesta right here. You know, he was the drummer for Testament for a minute as well, and a few other bands, including Rob Zombie. More pictures of the band members. It's always got like that comic book style liner notes and stuff, man. But another picture of Rob Zombie. Get sitting on his throne or whatever. See another cool picture of Zombie right here. But yeah, pretty cool, man. I guess that's Sherry Moon again. There's another picture in here too where she's like in a bikini or something. Oh yeah, right here. That's her again as well. But yeah, really good album, man. You know, I like industrial metal, man. I really like it. I really dug this. My only complaint is that the liner notes, man, like you have to kind of like search through the liner notes to really find the lyrics to the song. It's not in order with the track listing. But other than that, man, I thought this was a really good album. Songs weren't that long either. They were reasonably, I guess they were at a reasonable length or whatever, but really good album, man. I know a lot of you guys out there remember this from the late 90s or so. I vaguely remember it from the late 90s. I remember seeing the video for Dragula here and there, but great music, great metal music, man. Let's see what I got next. Oh, Black Label Society, Blessed Hell Ride, man. Now this is a band I seen a lot of guys when I was in school, in high school, wearing Black Label shirts. The only song I really knew from them is Stillborn with Ozzy Osbourne, which happens to be on this album, which is why I got it. But I got a good friend of mine from work named Zake. His favorite band, one of his favorite bands is Black Label Society, and we talk about them quite a bit, and he urged me to check them out. Actually, the album he recommended was 1919 Eternal, but I couldn't find it online. You know what I'm saying? I bought this off of FYE, I think, and they didn't have it available on FYE, so I just bought this one, the Blessed Hell Ride, because I knew the song Stillborn. But he told me to check out 1919 Eternal as well as Mafia album. He said those albums are really good. But this is a great album as well, man. I really dug the music on this record. Very groovy, very heavy metal, hard rock. There's really nothing I can complain about this album, man. I thought the whole album was really good. Every song from top to bottom I thought was good. One of my favorite songs on here is the Blessed Hell Ride, the title track. Man, that song is so mellow. It's so awesome. Like, it's definitely the perfect song to ride to, man. If you live out in the country like I do, that's just the perfect song to like put on when you hit those country back roads and go ride, man. Oh, what's another song on here? Besides Stillborn, with Ozzy Osbourne. That was the first time I heard Black Label. What else? Doomsday Jesus was awesome as well. Final Solution I dug. I don't know, is Final Solution a cover song or something? Because there weren't any lyrics to it in the book. But one thing I do like about that song that I can say is that listening to him sing on that song, listening to Zakk Wylde sing on that song, see, this is all you get when you get the Final Solution. He sounded like Ozzy on that song. He sounded a lot like Ozzy on that song. Well, not a lot, but in some parts when I was listening to it, I felt like he was channeling Ozzy. You know what I'm saying? And of course I know that he played with Ozzy for years, and you know he replaced Jakey Lee when he got fired from the band. But yeah, he channeled. I feel like he was channeling Ozzy a little bit in that song, man. You know, his vocals. That's one thing. That's another thing I like about Black Label is Zakk Wylde's vocals, man. I think Zach Wild is a great vocalist, man. I really like his style as a vocalist. I'm sitting here flipping through and not showing you guys some of the liner notes. Here's some of the liner notes, you know, lyrics and stuff, pictures that go along with it. So just a little something, but definitely an awesome heavy metal album, man. Like, really dug it, man. I also plan on getting into some of Zach Wild's like the Pride and Glory album. I heard that on YouTube, man. I really dug that Southern rock sound. I like Southern rock, but yeah, Black Label Society, The Blessed Hell Ride, definitely a great heavy metal album. If you haven't heard it, go listen to it, man. Purchase it, buy it, man. Great music right here. Let's see, and that's it for that bunch. Next CDs, these are the CDs I've gotten in recently, like in the past week or so. One of these I got today. The other one I got yesterday. The other one I got this weekend. I'll start with the one I got today. I haven't even opened it yet, but this is Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me by The Cure, released in 1987. Now, I don't know what number album this is from The Cure. I do know this is the one that they did before Disintegration, because Disintegration, that's really the only Cure album I really know. But I've decided to get a little bit more into their music, into their sound, and I started with this record. I decided to purchase this one, Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me, because I was reading about it and it said that this is the album that really like broke them into the American market over here. It had a lot of hits, like top 40 hits or something. But I listened to some samples of it on FYE, which is where I purchased this. You know, you only get a 30-minute sample, but I like what I heard. I like the alternative rock as well as new wave and gothic rock sounds that were present on this record. So I'm really eager to open this up and listen to it even more, because I think I'm really gonna like this. Because I've heard Disintegration. I actually had I actually used to have Disintegration. I got it off of iTunes one time, because a friend girl that I used to hang out with, she was a big Cure fan. I mean, she said that Robert Smith was her hero for years, and I remember listening to Disintegration with her and really liking it. Very gloomy, very depressing. Of course, it's gothic rock, but this, from what I've heard from this record, this record isn't as gloomy as Disintegration was. I think Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me came out during a different era, where Robert Smith, he was trying to break away from the gothic rock label, and I think that started with the album known as The Top. I think that was the record where The Cure started to go for more commercially accessible sound, more new wave, I guess you could say pop rock sound. I don't know if pop rock's the best way to describe it. Maybe new wave alternative rock sound. But there was a period in The Cure's career where they were trying to break away from the gothic rock label, and I think Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me was a part of that era. You know, because Disintegration was very gloomy and melancholy. You know what I'm saying? But really looking forward to listening to this. So once I listen to it, I can maybe do a solo review on it and tell you more about it. But yeah, really looking forward to listening to this. And the CD I got yesterday, I don't know if I should start with this, but this is a Type O Negative, Dead Again, released in 2007, 10 years ago now. Of course, this is the final album that Type O Negative released, because of course back in 2010 we lost Peter Steele. He died from heart failure, so this was their final album. I listened to it a little bit last night when I was coming home from work and everything, and what I heard sounded good. From what I've listened to, because this is another CD I gotta sit down and listen to, this record doesn't have much of a gothic metal sound. It has more, to me, it has more of a doom metal sound. I say that this record and the previous one, Life Is Killing Me, had more of a doom metal sound. Although it did have those gothic metal elements in it, I think those records had more of a doom metal sound, in my opinion. But of course, Type O Negative was a band. I mean, Peter Steele had a lot of influences. You know, The Cure was one of his. The Cure was a band that he liked it, and he said in the interview that he liked it, like new wave and stuff like that. And he implemented that, and he tried to implement that into the band's sound as well. But from what I've heard, this has more of a doom metal sound. But what I heard sounded really darn good. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I got to listen to this more before I can really give a true assessment. But from what I've heard from last night, it's a really good album, man. You know, I don't think Typo Negative, they're one of the few bands and acts in music that can say that they don't have a bad record. And speaking of that, last but not least, this is Typo Negative, the complete Roadrunner collection, 1991 to 2003. This features all of Typo Negative's music that they done with Roadrunner Records. It has their albums. It's a bit out of order. I got October Rust right there, because that's what I've been listening to the most. But it's got all those albums in here, all the way from the first record all the way till Life Is Killing Me. You know what I'm saying? It has all those records all the way down there, man. And really good, man. Really good album. Really good albums. Like, there's no album on here in this discography that I dislike. Not to, I mean, maybe the original Feces, because the original Feces is considered their second album, but really, it was really just a fake live album. To me, that was more of a joke than anything. It was a fake live album. It really wasn't recorded live. It was simulated that way. And it was really just a re-recording of a lot of the songs that appeared on the first record. But to me, Bloody Kisses is really the second Typo Negative album. Of course, that's the one that had their biggest hits, Christian Woman and Black Number One, Little Miss Scarall. But my favorite out of the bunch is October Rust. I think October Rust is a masterpiece, a wonderful record. I know a lot of people said that they were a bit bored with the record because it's really slow and melancholy, very gothic. But I think the music on here is just wonderful, man. Burnt Flowers Falling and In Praise of Bacchus are some awesome tracks, man. Love You to Death, which was, I think, the first single. Great song. Green Man is awesome. Red Water, My Girlfriend's Girlfriend, another single. That might have been the first single, I'm not sure, but another awesome song. Cinnamon Girl, which is a cover of from Neil Young. I was about to say Bob Dylan, I don't know why. But yeah, that's a cover of a Neil Young song. But some great music on here, man. Some great music and great band. And I admit I was sleeping on these guys for a while, man. But my buddy Zate, this is another band that he enjoys and told me that I should check out. So I checked it out, man, and I like what I heard. And that's it for today. I did get a metal box. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Metalhead box. I did get that today, but I'm not gonna show it because I'm kind of disappointed in it. I don't know if I'm gonna continue with the Metalhead box. I'm kind of disappointed in the band that I got. I think it's like a black metal band or something, man. I'm not really a huge fan of black metal, but I don't know. I'm supposed to get another one in February. I'll see then what I think. But until then, I hope you guys enjoyed this first episode of Special Delivery. I look forward to doing more of these special deliveries sometime soon. And I hope everyone is having a blessed day, a wonderful day. And as always, love, peace, and music. Peace out.